try this again, and I'll let you find the channel while we're going this.
What?
If you'll turn that one on. All right, guys, welcome to Finish Wednesday on YouTube. I will try this again. Hopefully, you can hear us this time. Everyone on Instagram, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, you can hear us on YouTube now. And with that said, so I was telling a story, and it was about Andy Hutson. We were fishing with him in Italy, and I was fishing one of my confidence patterns. It's Devin Olson's blowtorch, no big surprise. And I was catching fish. I was doing fine. And Andy came up, and he was on the British junior fly fishing international whatever team. He's a really good fly fisherman. And he came up and said, "What are you fishing with?" And I showed him, and he just proceeded to cut off my fly and tie on his. He said, "Try this for a minute." And it worked. It worked. I don't want to say better than I expected, but it worked really well. And we tied it about 6 months ago. And dries on DC 1220. Nice. So we tied it a few months ago on Instagram, and one of y'all came up to us on at the Edison show, and were complimenting us on how well it worked. So we thought, well, heck, we need to tie this thing on YouTube. That way, we've got a good way to go back and watch it, because Instagram's not the absolute best on going back and watching stuff. So, Howard, hopefully it's the new one. Did you log into the new one? There's 12 people watching now. And we'll see if there is sound on there now. Must have paid the ransom. See, Steve, can you hear us now on YouTube? I see your comment. So I still couldn't hear you on YouTube. Okay, Steve can hear us on YouTube. So try now, Truman. See if you can. And Graham Jones bought a badge on Instagram. I can't believe it, because this has kind of been a dumpster fire so far. But we're going to get through it, and we're going to have fun. Okay, Mike can hear us. Everyone can hear us on YouTube. So we're good. I hope you all heard the story, so I don't have to try to tell it again. But let's get smoothed out here. Katie, I will sit here for a minute or two longer, and when you're ready to go over pictures or something, you just let me know.
Okay.
So materials list today are going to be very simple. We're going to do a very simple, easy fly. All right. Howie can hear us. Joe, Bill, Jeff, Gary, Don, Mike, Freddie. Awesome. And I can see your comments. Thanks for hanging with us, everyone on Instagram. And by the way, now everyone on Instagram, check us out on YouTube. So next week, I'm confident we'll hit 500 subscribers. I think we're at 496 right now or something. We've got the flies that we tied the past couple weeks live. I've got a couple extra ones, and we'll throw these in there as well. Plus this fly box. That's what we're going to give away. $4.99. All right. I can't believe we picked up a few more followers with this going on. So this is going to be the last just fly box giveaway. We are going to, for the 600 giveaway, we're going to have a fly box. We're also going to have some really cool stuff. And as a hint, we've been drinking quite a bit of the Angler's Coffee. So that is a hint on the next round of giveaways. And if you haven't checked out Angler's Coffee, give it a look-see. It's some really good stuff. And if you want to know what kind to get, ask Fisher's Flies there. Ask Howie, or give us a shout, because we've had a handful of their. There we go. And Gary's got a $25 gift card as well. That'll be for next time. So if you all have any ideas of stuff that you would like to add to the giveaway pile, let us know. But we're going to have quite a few for 600, and then we'll do the same for 700, 800, and we'll do a really big one for 1,000. Materials for tonight: thread, jig hook, bead, some rabbit dubbing, maybe a little squirrel dubbing, all basic stuff, right? And lead or lead-free wire, but be careful how you wrap it. You don't want to wrap it in a horrible fashion. The key, the trick, the bling bling on this fly is going to be the Semperfli Fluoro Brite. And Gary, I cannot believe I haven't bought purple. Can you believe it? I've yet to purchase the purple color, so I need to buy that one. But the Fluoro, this is the fluorescent green number 13. This is the money material. The rest of it's just kind of basic stuff. I'm Jesse, number 500. Chris has got the purple. Man, I can't, dude, I've got like 5 shades of orange, but not purple. I can't believe it. Jesse, thank you for following us and being number 500. Next week, we'll definitely do this small giveaway. And since Jesse said that, a preview for the next one will be, this will be added on to the 600, this nice partridge skin. So lots of fun stuff. Katie is rocking the house over here.
Knocking stuff over.
All right. So with that said, Katie, you ready to go over some pictures? Or are you still messing around?
Sure. Wow, you would think that we hadn't done this in about, I don't know, a long time.
Katie got a new camera and it's totally messed everything up. But it's one of those things, like, people ask how we do this all the time. I'm like, dude, it is confusing. We make it way too complicated. And when you get a new camera, it makes it even more something. I guess it's not on autofocus for some reason. But that's okay. You look beautiful out of focus too, honey. So does your hand.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
there we go.
I don't think it's in focus.
Oh, yes,
right,
you're in focus.
So we'll take a look at some flies that we got this week. But first, I would like to say how cool it is that Smitty's.
So Smitty's Fly Box reached out to us a little while ago and asked if we wanted to work with them on doing some. So I was like, well, what kind of materials do you use? What are we talking about? So he sent us some boxes, and I've opened this one just because of time. This one's still sealed, and we'll open this one next week. And I have no idea what it is, other than it's called a duck butt. This is their intermediate time box from November 2022. This is their intermediate time box from 2019, the Fatal Attractor. So I just used Smitty's with Project Healing Word Vets. Cool. Katie Nan looks like she can probably give you a hand. Hey, Keisha. Well, we were late too. I apologize. So the neat thing about this is what we're going to do is maybe for 3 months or so, we're going to tie one of their flies. And the nice thing is the whole box shipping included is $25. So it's kind of expensive when you think it's a fly. But you've got enough materials here to tie a bunch of flies, and you've got a lot of leftover materials that, I mean, I don't know about you all, but a calf body hair patch lasts me for quite a while, and I get a lot more than a dozen flies out of one patch. So for $25, including shipping, pretty good deal. And when I was looking at this, I was like, well, I mean, I guess you get a newsletter every single time, but this newsletter is actually, here's the instructions on how to tie said fly. So this Fatal Attractor looks like his little caddis pattern. Looks like nice little attractor pattern. Work good in the Smokies. Maybe switch up the colors a little bit. But you got the step-by-step instructions here on how to tie it. So let's look at the materials real quick. So as I said, you got a calf body hair patch here, body here. Got the body here. You've got some elk for the wing, so that's pretty cool. And crystal flash, and really, like, yeah, it's not a whole hank of crystal flash, but that's more than enough to it's been a long time. So just because we're tying smaller flies, we don't go through a whole lot of crystal flash. So got plenty of crystal flash. Got 2 packs of dubbing and enough hackle to probably tie. This is Whiting Farms Grizzly hackle. It's already sized. It's like 3 feathers, so enough to tie maybe a dozen, probably a dozen flies or so for the feathers itself. And then Caleb, here's your Daiichi hook. So you got quality hooks that goes with it, and then you've got thread, of course. So you look at each one of these things is probably $3 to $5. So you've got 1, 2, 3 plus hooks. I'm gonna guess there's probably about a dozen hooks in there. So half a pack of hooks. So that's another $3-4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 things. 8 times 3 is 20.
24.
24. So more than $24 as far as retail worth of stuff, and that include and you get that plus, and that includes shipping. So not a bad deal. Thank you, Freddie. YouTube angle is a see lid rig. I'm glad that you came on and said hey. And speaking of lid rig, gotta love lid rig guys. But so anyway, you guys are always asking for us to put a materials list up beforehand. This will allow us to easily do this at least once a month. Be able to put a materials list on. We'll open this up, tie it, and it'll be kind of fun. I'll tell you what. No good camera, plug and play. You'll figure it out. Yeah. Well, the thing is, we now have 3 Sony ZV E10s or something, and then the Canon R5. Oh, the math on the cost, I don't want to start with that. But anyway, so Smitty's Fly Box, check them out. If you want to order something, just tell them that you heard from us. But we don't have a code. I'm not making any money on it. We're, if I'm honest, I did not buy this. But I'm not making it anything. I did, however, for the lead that we did our show on last week. Here's my packaging from Orvis that I went and paid retail for the lead in Sevierville the other day because I needed more of this size. Yeah, yoker, you people who I don't know these people that get all their stuff for free and sit around drinking McCallahan, but we're just drinking the water and having good times. Yep. So, gosh, guys, I can't believe I talked this long without tying anything. Who wants to tie a fly? Anyone? Katie, you want to show some pictures real quick?
Sure, I'll be happy to.
Okay, Katie's going to do the pictures. So we got Smitty's.
And we also have Angler's Coffee.
Well, here we go. Yes.
Surfer Dad. These are from last week. These are the CDC emerger variations that everybody tied up. So that's pretty cool right there. I love it, Ed. Jay Wilson.
And if we miss one of you guys, I apologize. This is not chosen based on quality or anything at all. This is just us grabbing the ones that we see. And yeah.
Yeah. So that's Jay Wilson. And then we
Good
have
job, Jim.
Bill.
Oh, Bill, Mr. Brashears. We saw him on here a minute ago.
Looks pretty great.
And the 2 people on YouTube.
This is AK Sledneck.
Oh, Randy. Good job, Randy.
And Big T.
But look at that background.
Love the background. It's awesome. Jimmy.
Old Jimmy Roop. He was on the Instagram a second ago. I don't know if he's on YouTube or not.
D Bishop 32.
Well done. That body looks nice. It looks nice.
Christine.
Oh, Miss Gonzalez. Mrs. Gonzalez. Ms.
Flame Lily Flies.
Oh, Mr. Penny. Wes has got some skills.
Off the Vice.
That's a bright one.
And Matthew M. McGraw 1.
Mr. McGraw.
All looking great, guys. Thanks for sharing those with us.
All righty.
And there you go.
So stay fly. I'm glad we could keep you occupied. And here was the other thing. So you got your crank. Stay Fly New Jersey was asking about this vise earlier. So the crank you were talking about also had this knob here that gives me a little more oomph to grab onto. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. So let's get to tying. So let's switch over to the vise real quick. We'll show you the fly we're going to tie. This is a size 16 variation of it. And I'm going to remember I told you about the Semperfli Fluoro Brite in fluorescent green. So here's the magic on this. So it's kind of like a mess, right? Now, bear in mind, I've got a ton of light on this fly coming from all the different angles. So you can see every single fiber coming off of this. But when I zap it with light, see the segmentations coming up on that? Now, this is a size 16, and we tie these 16s and 14s. But that just absolutely glows and explodes and looks really nice. So if you're a believer that fish can see UV stuff, then that's why this fly works really well. Otherwise, it just you've got a nice olive body with a little bit of Peacock black crystal flash here, and just a teeny tiny squirrel collar around here. And so that's what we're going to tie a few different variations of that, or not really variations, but a few different methods of that one. We'll throw this one in this box. I'm not going to spend time and get it all pretty, but we'll just set it in there for now. Okay, so we're going to start with the size 14, and then we'll go to the 16. So I'm going to go with the 14 Jig Hook. Denver. Yes, I think Mel is going to be in Denver.
I like the red lights in the back. Those look cool.
Cool. I'm glad you like them. Switch the colors without getting your approval. Keisha, they're not going to be in Denver. You missed it. They were just in Atlanta. That's the only place they're going to be. So I've been tying these in a couple different colors. One is copper, because that was Andy Hutson's go-to, was the copper. Oh, Gary, or Keisha, I was joking about Atlanta being the only one. They're going to be in a bunch out west. I figured they'd be in Atlanta or Denver. So copper is Andy's go-to, but I also have been tying it in black nickel. So let me get some glasses on so I can see. And I need some wire. So we're going to go with the 015 wire.
Now you better wrap that the right way.
I know. So this takes so long to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll make it 7. Pop that off. Shove it up there. Pop that off. And now I'm all whatever. Okay. So I'm going to do this one the standard way. So I'm going to use some tan thread. You could use olive or whatever color. This is the tan Semperfli classic wax thread. And I'm just falling apart today. I'm going to build a little bit of a thread ramp here. So you can see I've got that nice and smooth. Just going to build just a little bit of a ramp. Not much. And we'll bring my thread down here because I want my Fluoro Brite to have a little something besides just the sticky or just a slick hook shank. We'll flatten out my thread, and I'm going to do one layer up the lead and back down. Now with the here, I'll sort it out. Yeah, that'll be awesome. That was so slow. I know. This team is just so slow. All right, so I'm going to get
It was appallingly slow.
I don't know, a piece that's 10 inches long or so. And that's going to be enough to tie probably a dozen or so flies. So this is the Fluoro Brite. And I'm going to line up my tips here. So you see how they're pretty much lined up. And sometimes, especially after I cut it, it's good if you wet it. But for now, I'll just do a pinch wrap. So you can see I've got that tied in right on top. Pull this back, pull it to length, to where it stops right at the lead. Put a couple wraps here. Now I'll bring it back. So we're going to do the quick and easy way. Now, this is a caddis, so you can have a little bit of a taper. It's fine, but it's kind of it's not a mayfly, so we're not trying to get a real skinny body and fatter as it goes on. It can be kind of chunky. I want it to be kind of chunky, thicker body. So what I'm going to use is olive hares mass dubbing. So I'm just going to use this right here. So we'll open this up just so you can. I want to try to do a little bit better job explaining what we're doing. And if you'll switch to this camera here when you get a chance. Thank you, ma'am. So we've got our dubbing here. I'll go like that. So I'm going to get a piece of this out, not that much. And go and get more out than you think you need. Because when you see, and I'll switch over to the hook. See how when I pull this out from the two hands, see how the fibers are kind of aligned? So that way when I put it on the thread, I'm going to be able to wrap it around the thread a little bit easier than if they were just kind of balled up. And I don't know if that makes sense, but hey, well, Keisha, while you're at it, if you pick Chris up, come up and pick Katie and I up. That'd be all right, wouldn't it, Katie?
Sure.
See, Katie said it's fine.
Totally fine.
And we may as well pick Truman up too. We'd be good. We we can all get Whip Finish Wednesday shirts to match. That'd be awesome. All right, so let's switch over back to the tying camera. That one. Okay. So now I've got my main chunk of dubbing in this hand. I've got a little bit of dubbing in this hand. So I'm gonna pull out my thread. I'm going to try to do this so you can see it right there on top of the screen. I wish the camera's a little bit higher, but I just take my finger. Okay, just going to move it so you can see. There we go. So I take the dubbing so it's lined up. And now I'm just kind of split the middle of my finger. And then you can see it's wrapped on there with just one twist. You kind of see that right there. So I'm taking a little pinch out. Put it right here, wrap on with one twist. Now I'm not getting it completely wrapped around, but get it pretty close. And now I can go back and tighten it up. Now I don't need a really long noodle here, but now I can take little pieces and build up my dubbing noodle. So I can make it, if I need to add a taper to it, I can do that. If it's too thin, too thick, I can spread it out. But remember, there's already a taper built in with the lead. So if there was no lead in here, I might want back here to be thicker than here, but because I already have a taper and I don't need much of a taper, I've got just kind of a consistent noodle here. I will slide it up a bit, make sure it's nice and tight. And now we'll bring the thread back. You will switch over to the hook. So I'll hold up my Fluoro Brite so I know right where I want that body to start. Bring it around. Let's get one good wrap of dubbing there because, like I said, it doesn't have to be real thin. And I'm just going to bring it up like this. And that should be good right there. So I'm going to grab, all I'm doing is see a little bit of dubbing is left, probably half an inch or so. I'm just going to grab my fingers, pull down, that strips it off, and we're ready to go. Okay. So pull this off here. And now because it's a jig hook, I just bring my bobbin cradle around, hang this over, and we switch back to the tying light. Now, if you don't have a dubbing whirl or a spinner or something, just twist this. But if you got one, this is a good time to use it because remember, we just tied in the end, so we got a loop on the other end. We're just cording this up, and I'm going to switch this. You think so, Tim? The sex, I've got some. I'm not like a master at them, but we got some here. We could play with them. maybe, who knows? I'm by far, I'm 100% novice on these, but I promise that'll work. And we got some olive ones and white ones. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to rotate this around, but I'm going to counterwrap this, and it has nothing to do with um, keeping the body or trying to reinforce anything. It's just if I wrap it the same way I wrap my thread, I feel like the my segmentation goes down in between my dubbing wraps, and the wraps aren't quite as even. Sometimes can't be quite as even, but they also disappear a little bit more. So by counter wrapping, I'm able to keep the wraps a little bit more. Let's switch over to the book. I'm able to keep the wraps a little bit more consistent, and they don't slide down into the dubbing quite as much. Okay. So remember, there was nothing there a second ago, and now see that. See how that just explodes. I know it doesn't really so much on the camera, but it glows. So now, since I counterwrap that, I want to take my thread. Now I do this a lot, and if I just take my thread and wrap it straight, just straight over, I'm kind of pushing my material's wrapped in the opposite direction. I'm pushing it forward. So what I do is I take my thread, bring it up, and I bring it over and cross it over. So up, over, cross. And 3 of those, and it's locked in. You're wrapping that. I know, backwards. Just terrible. All right, and now this piece is ready to go for the next one. So we'll tie this around. And now I want to put some, if you want to, if some of these are bothering you, you can pull them off. You can cut them. They don't really bother me too much, but we got a nice little scruffy body. That's what we want, but the big scruff's coming. So now I'm going to get just a pinch of ice dub, just a little bit. Now in Andy's instructions, you need 2 wraps, but I'm going to say maybe 2 wraps thick. And oh my gosh, the darn you know who starts with an A, ends with an Exa or L, Exa.
Yeah, she
just started talking to us for no reason.
Ours is broken. She inserts herself into the conversation when we don't even talk to her.
Yeah, she's not.
We need to send it back.
She's not very helpful.
No.
Like, what's the weather today? She's like, it's going to be 45 degrees outside. By the way, would you like to order?
By the way, have you tried Sherwin-Williams? It's awesome.
Yeah. So we got that little bit of ice stub there. Let's make sure we're good. Yeah, it should be fine. And that is just a teeny bit. Do not overdo the ice stub. Did you hear her, Keisha? She was like jumping on. It's just unnecessary.
She is so, oh my gosh. She does. She listens to everything that we say. And I told her the other night that when I ask her a question, she just needs to answer me. And then I don't need any other after that. Like no suggestions, no nothing. Just answer and stop.
No knitting.
Nothing.
All right. So now I've got pine squirrel dubbing. And the key thing, I'm going to show you why I'm saying this in a second. So the key thing is you want this to be really spiky, really picky. There's a few different ways to do this. You can just loosely dub it. You can, she's Russian. Yeah. Or she's Chinese. She's with that weather balloon. Tell JC we need to have a cornhole
rematch.
Yeah, oh, we do.
I know. Sorry, Don Bishop. You're all gonna get Sherwin-Williams ads. Yeah, she told us that she asked us randomly one time if we had been to Sherwin-Williams, that it was awesome. I'm not really sure where that came from.
All right. So this time I'm going to do I'm just going to lightly dub it. So when I say lightly, you need like 1 to 2 turns. And I'm just going to have it like that. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I think my preferred, so there's 1, 2, and since I've got on there, we'll go 3. So I think my preferred method is putting that same amount in a split thread, but you can see how it's got that pickiness of it. But that's fine. That's
What
all
is
we're
that
looking
dubbing
for.
again? That looks really cool.
Pine. That last little bit was pine squirrel.
Oh,
Natural fur pine squirrel.
the same one that was outside yesterday?
Yep, same one.
Ooh.
I gave him a haircut when you weren't looking. So I put a little bit of Sally Hansen's on there. Have that pulled off. You can see we've got that little bit of pickiness there. Now some of that's going to come out, but it's like if you think, well, a lot of that's going to pull out. Yeah, you're probably right. Some of it is going to pull out, but as this thing's fished, all this the body's going to get picked out too. So this is a really cool, really fishy fly. That additional weight in there with the lead or the tin wraps, the lead-free wraps, that tungsten bead that's going to sink really nice and be good. So I'm going to try a different variation of this. Just basically the same thing, but different materials. Just to show you don't have to get all fancy with it. If you want me to tie a 16 or a 14, let's go to the 14. Let's go to the 16, sorry. Just in case we don't have time.
Is that rodent profiling?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the term that the other day? That's
I don't remember, but it was something weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go with a 3mm black nickel bead on this 16. So still pretty big bead for this. Yes, Gary, we're gonna bang this one out. We'll try to do it quicker, but I mean comparatively, we're gonna do it a lot quicker because it's it's 10 till right now. So since we started 10 minutes late, we still have about 20 minutes to go, but it took us 40 minutes to tie that one fly, something like that.
But it was worth it.
Totes worth it. All right, so if you want to go down to 015 wire or 01 wire, you could. I'm gonna stick with the 15. I'm going to do like 5 wraps. So helicopter that off. Slide this up, make sure that bead's good. Helicopter this off. Well, here we go. Now we're ready to go again, but I'm going to switch over to black because I have that black tungsten bead. I'm going to use the black Semperfli 12-aught, the 12-aught black. And that's just because it's a black tungsten bead, black nickel bead, excuse me. Make it look a little bit better on the whip finish. Bring this back. A little bit of a ramp here. All right, we are good to go. I'm sorry it took so awful long. Pants. Gary always forgets his pants. Always. Did you bring pants to Atlanta, Gary? Maybe his wading pants. All right.
I mean, as long as you have one pair, you should be good, right?
Of pants?
Yeah.
He doesn't wear pants, honey.
Well, I mean,
shorts,
like bottoms.
Bottoms.
Yeah, I thought you just meant like he didn't have anything.
Oh no, he had something. All right, so this time I want to use two new materials. Switch it out to the side. You don't know what these pants are. You're talking about no. See, it's no pants. So we're going to use some rabbit faces. These are super cool. I went to order one of those dubbing rakes right when Hairline released those ceramic ones, whatever, and they're back ordered, and I haven't ordered from Hairline since. So I don't have a cool dubbing rake. So we'll just have to do it the way we've done it for years. Wedding pants.
I love it.
All right. So for the body, I'm going to pull from the cheeks. This is going to be less picky.
Let's zoom in on that. I want to see that up close next to the back.
So we got the hair, but I'm going to pull from these cheeks right here. So just kind of get in here so I can get okay. So pull like this. And that's enough to do this whole, more than enough to do this whole fly. Normally, I would want to like pull off some or even shave it a little bit, different places, and use the pieces for multiple flies. But so we're going to dub it the exact same way. We've got our main chunk of dubbing in this hand. We've got our side dubbing. They're actually dubbing in the other hand. Remember, you don't need much. We'll try to get that some of that fur, the under fur in there. That's what's going to make a nice tight noodle. And if you're worried about the darn hare's mask, aka rabbit face, they're really easy to use. You don't have to like go too crazy. You don't have to have that rake. It does make it, or apparently makes it easier. I've still yet to use it, but we'll have one and test it out one of these days. So now we're going to dub this up just like before. That should be good. Yeah, one too many. So you see, that's just from what we pulled off the cheek there. No big deal. Do the exact same thing, except I can't find this. Slide our whirl in here. Spin around. It was a wading skirt and it's great. Well, maybe Gary might borrow your wading skirt, Nan. Who knows? All right, so we're just wrapping this up, trying to keep those wraps aligned. Got those on there. Capture it off. Remember, go up, over, across 3 times. Okay. So I'm going to just get that tag in there. Do the same thing with the Peacock ice dub. If you have black ice dub, that'd be fine. So just a nice little thin collar here. I need just a touch more. I've got a touch more literally in my hand. There we go. Now, if there is some of this ice stuff sticking out, I'll go ahead and cut it off. I feel like the rabbit bugginess is good, but so this time, Scotland do old friends in the UK sent me video guys in kilts fishing. That would be tough to fish with wool dress on or wool get full on tweed. Flying in water shedding fabric. All right, so now I want to use the natural hare's mask natural brown. So I'm going to use this, but this time as opposed to getting it from the cheek, we're going to get it from the actual ear itself. So I'll just grab it up here by the ear. You can see I'm pinching. I'll pull off a nice little chunk. See what I got right there? Not much. So we'll do this right here. Make sure my thread is nice and flat. I should have done this beforehand, so hopefully I won't sneeze and blow that away. Uncord my thread. Crawdad in Scotland. There's a joke there somewhere. All right, so I've got that little bit of dubbing here. See, that's what I picked off from the ear. And this is, that's it. That's all there is. Now switch back to the tying light or tying. Yeah. Okay. So you see that little bit of dubbing right there. So when I'm not twisting my bobbin or anything, but if I just pull out some thread and slide it up, see how it kind of twisted up a little bit. That's all we really need. It's in there. It's in between the thread. So now let's go back to the hook. Let's switch back over to the hook, please, ma'am. Okay, so now I've done 1 wrap, 2 wrap, 3 wrap. Pull this back, just like it was hackle. And you see we've got that. The only difference is that's rabbit ear versus the squirrel. So we still got a little bit of that bugginess in there. It's not dubbed or anything, but just in that split thread, that'll be fine. Just a little bit different, but we've got that nice little pickiness of that. It'll give some nice little contrast to everything. And speed Jim. It's too big. All right. So we got this one done. So in case you all, if any of you all are new, so if you'll tie this up and use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday, post it on Instagram. You don't have to have the exact materials, anything. Just do your best with your variation of this, and we'll bang one more out real quick.
Bang another one out.
We'll bang one more out. And if you don't have the Fluoro Brite, just use a bright color thread. Check out your get a UV light and shine it on your thread box. So this is just fine. It's a regular thread box here, but if I just shine a UV light on it, you can see what all's UV and what's not. Use a UV thread and you'll be good to go. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to use the rabbit dubbing from the cheeks, and we're going to use a pine squirrel collar. But I guess I might want to get
a bead. Might be nice.
A bead. I don't know much, but it'd probably be helpful. That means it would be seasonal. Not for Gary.
Michael, thank you, Michael Ward. That's nice. He says it's a good educational service in fly fishing.
I missed that one, but thank you, Michael. And everyone, speaking of which, Ryan and Adam and everyone on Instagram, if you have not checked us out on YouTube, go run over. We're live on YouTube right now, and I'm sorry I'm not paying much attention to you guys on Instagram. We've got a party over here. 2, 3, 4,
Good night,
5, 6. We got a party over here, and you can see better and hear better, and everything's just swell. So if you can, go over and hop over on Instagram. Shoot. Say it wrong every time. Hop over on YouTube. I'm going to switch back over to the tan thread. The main reason I'm doing that is because of the bead color. So we're going to build up a little bit here, a little bit of taper, just to transition between the bead and the lead. That's done. I know, guys, that's whatever. What's marketing genius, Graham? I'm sure it was something someone else said, but I'm curious. So we've got our thread here from our Fluoro Brite from what we used a minute ago. You can see the tips are still lined up. So as long as you don't mess with it too much, the little pinch wrap, pull it to length, then you don't have to line the tips up every single time. They're just kind of ready to go. I usually like to put a thread base down first, but it's okay. We'll make do. So I've got my that one chunk that I pulled off a minute ago from the hare's cheek. This is what's left over from that one pinch. So I'm just, you can mix it up. You can put it in your palm. You can move it all together, but we're just doing the exact same thing. So switch back over to the tying camera. So remember, hold your main clump of dubbing in this and your hand that has a bobbin. So I'm kind of holding the bobbin like this. I pull out a little bit. It comes out aligned, comes out kind of straight. Put on the thread and wrap it around. Pretty simple. And that will be just about it. So switch back and see, I've still got this much left of this dubbing. So that's enough for at least one more fly. And that was from one pinch of dubbing off the cheek. And remember, because this is a caddis, we switch back over the hook, please. Anchor fly tackle out the video. Adam, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you like it. And if you guys are watching, if you have not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, we would greatly appreciate it. We very, very much we really appreciate all the support we've gotten from you guys up until now, and we appreciate the continued support. You guys are awesome. We really enjoy doing this, and sometimes it can be a pain for us to get started at night, but once we get going and get to tying and get to joking around and have everyone talking about trying to picture Gary in a kilt, the night goes by really quick, and we always end up in a good mood. So, same thing. Counter wrap this. You don't have to, but like I said, the reason that I wrap it in the opposite direction is not for durability reasons at all. It's just because I like to make things much more difficult than they have to be. But the main reason I feel like is that my material is not going to sink down as far and disappear into the dubbing, number one. And number two, you can see how my wraps, let me pull up my light. See how the wraps are pretty even? So I'll switch over to this side. See how the wraps are pretty, oh, you're fine on the, see how the wraps are pretty even? I feel like when I wrap it the same direction as the dubbing, then they kind of fall into in between the wraps of dubbing, and they're not quite as even. I'm not saying my wraps are really that great, but that's my rationale. If you want to wrap it the other way, hey, wrap it the standard way. It's totally fine. I don't think it's going to make that big a difference. Just explaining why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. Fish cat, they do. They do all day. They will count them, and if you got one too many or they're too close or they're crooked, don't get me started if they're crooked, Jeff. Just a little bit of this dubbing. I might need a little bit more, but we'll see. And I have got a question for you guys. Who's ready for a question about Katie?
I'm ready.
Now Katie's nervous, but I'm going to wait to ask it before someone says, I'll answer the question about Katie. Let's see how that looks. Maybe a touch more. Like literally a touch more. And this is a serious question. Legs too. I don't even know what you're talking about. Legs too. Stay fly. You're probably talking to someone else or educated trout Henry's fork. There we go. All right, so we got this done. Okay, so Nan wants another question. So let's we put it on the main camera.
Sure.
So one of the questions that we get quite a bit since we did the Umpqua ZS2 fly time bag. When we did that review, we that's a really cool bag. It's what I took to Edison. It's been to California with me. It's been to Atlanta show with me. It's been to South Carolina. It's all over. There are a lot of different reasons I like it. Not like end all be all bag, but it works good for me and I like it. But of all the things, we've gotten tons of questions on the light that I put in the bag. And we've had a handful of you guys that have asked what that light is, and we've had to go and dig and find it on Amazon. We found the actual light itself, and we've shared that with a few people. And I know some of you all have bought the light, and quite frankly, that is a light that we tied with Tim Flagler this year. We've tied with him a few times. I think it was at the symposium a couple of years ago is where we first saw Tim with this light. So we asked him about it. He explained it to us. We bought it. So totally stole the idea from Tim. But I was thinking that would be a good video for Katie to do, to say, here is our light. This is the answer to your question. Here's the light. We got a link for it down there. We don't get paid on anything. It's just so people can see it.
I think you can do it. You already sound like you know it.
Now switch the camera over to you now, and now you talk about it. There you go.
I'm happy to do the video to show everybody the light that we use. But just saying, this is by no means the best light in the world. I'm not saying it's better than your light. I'm not saying your light's wrong, mine's right. I'm not saying you're turning your light on the wrong way or the right way. I'm just saying, here's the light we use. If you like it, cool. If you think yours is better, do a video. So maybe I'll do it. We'll see.
Yeah. So, and Freddie, I'm glad that you got it, and I'm glad that you liked it. Light plus your light box. Oh, Mike's got one that you definitely would have to do, Katie, and that's your light box. Because I'm not going to do that one. course, you could just like back over, pan the light over, and be okay. So I think the last one that I did, I think both of them I put in dubbing loops. Let's just dub this one. If you wanted to do a daylight lamp rocks, yeah, those are pretty cool. The cool thing about the little light that we use for traveling is the size that it breaks. It's not the best light in the world.
Yes, Chris, it's the round telescoping light. It's just like a disc that telescopes like up.
It's the size of a big hockey puck when it goes down, and you can put it. And the drawback to it is customs. Going through airport security, they don't like it because they don't know what it is. They look at it every single time. But as far as portability wise, it's really good. And there's probably better ones out there, but I don't like it. So Tim showed you what it was. Cool. Show it. I need something more portable for demos. Hold on, I'll reach over and grab it. But way too much stuff on.
I'll just put a link out there.
Cool.
Because actually, the one that they used to have, the one that we got, I don't think they have that exact one. But they have one that's very, very similar.
You get one that's got like hair stuff in it.
Yeah. So this is it on B&H, and here's the link. So I'll pin that up at the top for you guys.
There we go.
So there you go.
It is a oh, flip it over to you for a second. I'll grab it. If I can get over here.
It's a small rig.
Small rig. That's the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. If you want to switch over to the hook real quick, you can show the. I just dubbed. All I did is dub that on there. You can see it's not quite as buggy, but you got a nice little collar here. And here in a second, I'll whip finish it and we'll throw that in the box and we'll give it away next week.
Now, does yours come with the little like blue LED, like the little pole clamp for your phone or stuff like that?
Ours didn't come with any of that stuff.
It didn't come with.
So let's go back to the main screen. So here's the bag, and this is just packed up like we're ready to go. And here's a light. So that's it. It can be cordless, so it'll last like a couple hours, hour and a half, 2 hours without plugged in or anything, or you can just leave it plugged in. So I've got the USB cable here.
Yes, Chris, that is true. They are on sale or something right now on the small rig site.
And when you want to use it, you just pull this out, pull this up, and bring it like this, and you're ready to tie. Now, like I said, it's plenty bright. You can change the color of it, like I think one of you guys said. You need to stop by and see my guy. He's excellent.
She has a guy at B&H.
You got a guy at B&H.
Are you sure yours didn't come with like a little holder?
Because it goes to you got the little micro. I don't know if it's micro USB, but it plugs in here to a regular USB port, and then you just.
It's a Type C. It's a Type C.
So yeah, I'm sure you can just plug that into your computer. I would guess anyway. I don't know why that worked. See, the new ones, they've got like phone holders because they're for like makeup. So when Chris is doing his videos, he can have his phone hit here and he can like show off his landscaping. But so you got the different colors and stuff, and it's good for traveling. It's not there's better ones out there that for not traveling around, but I mean it's not like super small, but as far as like everything else I've had has had an arm or something, and it's just a pain trying to keep up with.
The pictures on the website make me laugh of the lady.
Yeah.
Because she's like putting in her purse, and then she has 2 phones doing her lipstick.
Yes, Chris, so you can do your makeup. So like you grab this and stick it down in there. And I got my vise, my base, and that in there. And that's so I've got everything here, and the rest of it's tools and materials on this side. But there's not many quality lights that will fit into a bag like that. That's that small.
Yeah, and that like don't have like a neck that you have to deal with, or
it's
something.
That neck that gets you.
It's the telescoping neck part that makes it just really nice to throw in your bag.
Steve, you're right. We all need one of these to make us feel pretty. All of us.
Absolutely.
And the new ones, everyone on Instagram, come check us out on YouTube because it's a lot more entertaining over there if you can, and you can see better. But yes, the we all need all the help we can get. The
Steve,
new
Yates,
versions.
He needs one to make him feel pretty.
The new ones have got the holders and the makeup stuff.
It doesn't have any makeup. It's just like a phone holder.
Makeup holders or something.
No, it just holds your phone. I don't know why it has a picture of a lady doing her lipstick. Maybe she's like doing. Maybe she's like vlogging.
We can make this into like a top, honey.
This is where it's time to end the stream. This is where he's going off the rails, guys.
One bag for me for Texas. Well, another good thing about this is that bag is I can put it inside my carry-on, so I don't have to use it as a carry-on. But anyway, this is not an advertisement by any means.
No, and if you have a light that's better,
yep,
that's great.
You all knock yourself out. So next week we will definitely be giving away this fly box. It just has a couple weeks worth of flies in it for ones we've posted, ones we've tied live. We'll even throw the ones that Katie, the Arex posted today. It's new size 20 Arex freshwater 563.
Oh, the little Frenchies.
They are awesome.
They are.
They are really, really, really good. You ever wondered how they get those bunny faces so flat? I do not know. I've never wondered that. I kind of guess they just skin them out and lay them out. But that's something to wonder about, though, for sure. Guys, thank you so much. So tie your variation of it. I think CDC would be great. I think throwing some CDC in there for a little extra bugginess would be cool. Tie your variation of this fly. Use hashtag Whip Finish Wednesday. That will put you in for the drawing, as well as everyone who has posted so far on previous flies for this fly box with the flies that we tied. So you can see you've got I got a crotch full of flies now that just fell out. The ones I just now tied. Good thing they're barbless. Now you guys might not want those flies, but switch back over to the hook. So we've got those little emergers that we tied. I've got some other little variations of the ones we tied today and the ones we actually tied today, plus this one that's still in the vise. And see you next week. See you, Joe. Thank you so much. And comment on this video. So after we post the video, comment on it, and that'll put your name in the hat as well. Until then, drink some Angler's coffee and enjoy your evening, and we'll have Smitty's fly box on soon. Thank you, Keisha. Appreciate you hopping on. Patrick, Steve, Gary, always a pleasure. Helena Fisher, thank you so much for jumping on with us. And Jimmy, I was wondering if you were on here. Didn't see you earlier. Thanks so much. You guys mean the world to us. We really appreciate your positive comments, and you guys have a wonderful evening. See you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.